Today's episode is available as a full-length video tutorial. Look us up on YouTube under Pest Geek Podcast Pest Control Training. That's Pest Geek Podcast Pest Control Training. Hey everybody, this is Eric from Digital Visk, and we're working on a nature pest video. So I've already rendered the full-length, full-screen version of this. And now I'm working on the IGTV version, which of course is mobile. You can look at the screen there. And we're going to optimize this for mobile. And so we've got our intro in. And basically what you're going to do, the way I do it here in Adobe Premiere is I've got that first clip that I need to make sure the logo is visible. So it's a larger clip. As you guys can see it right here, I'm going to select motion, and motion should give me, watch this. You're going to go to scale, and you can see the boundaries of this. You know, that would be full length, too small for mobile. So I'm just going to scale that up. Resize it to about, you can type that in, 190 right here. Okay. And I've doubled up on that, and you'll see why. So here's another cut. I have a little bit of another clip. The full length, the full size, you can select motion, select the clip right here, click on motion. And here you could see the handles for this clip. That means that the clip, actually, if we brought it down to its full length size, that would be it. But because it's the face, and that's really what we need for this, I'm going to bring it back up to about 183. I can select motion. I usually select motion because I can use that to move it around, okay, and position it in a way that fits better on the mobile screen. Okay, here is the third edit right here. Okay, he's still talking. That I'm going to get rid of. And shortcuts that are really helpful to me are the plus and minus. On your keyboard, that lets me zoom in and zoom out on the frames. That comes in very handy when we're splicing and cutting. Now I'm going to select the tip of that clip, drag it until we get to the, there you go. That's where I need to jump to. That's what I need to jump to. Right around there, okay? That's the beginning of that clip. I have my left hand on my keyboard. I'm using plus and minus to zoom in, and I can be very meticulous about this. There you go, right down to the frame. Now I can drag that to the left and make a nice jump cut. Check it out.
Thing that we found with this landscape and what needs to be fixed. Check this out. Okay,
there you go.
Here is
Okay, now this is what I want, more or less what I want people to see on their phones when they're watching this video. The problem is that a lot of it is not in the actual shot because it's too big for this format. So I'm going to select motion, pick select the clip here. I'm going to go to motion. That way I can move it around and I can see what the boundaries are here. I'm going to bring that down to match that format. There you go. That's about 55.8. Now, the problem is the background. There's a couple of things that I want to do to fill in the background. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this video. I'm going to put my left hand on the Alt button on my keyboard, and I'm going to drag that forward a couple of times. Okay? Now, obviously, you guys can't see any difference, but here on the track, I have a duplicate of that clip. And I'm going to do something And check it out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that background, which is the first clip right here. The top one is the one that's closest to the viewer. So I'm going to select the first track on the bottom. Okay. Now over here, sometimes this gets lost, and you can hit these arrow buttons right here and select Effect Controls. Now when you do that and you pick the clip, it's going to go back to the motion, the scale, those parameters. I'm going to select motion, and now I'm going to scale it back up. Now you can see that in the background, it's beginning to fill that screen. So I've got basically the same video scaled up in the background. Now, why am I doing this? Well, basically, I'm going to use that as a background. But to give it some contrast, I'm going to look for the blur effect. So I'm going to go to my effects windows. If you don't have that open, go to Windows and make sure that you activate effects. Okay, once you do that, this window is going to pop up. You're going to type into the search box blur. I like to go with this type of blur, the Gaussian blur. I'm going to drag that to that first track right there. Now on the left in the effects controls, I'm going to select Gaussian blur, and now I can actually blur out the background. Let's go to another shot so you can appreciate that a little bit more. Yeah, let's go to this. I guess this shot would work. All right. So you guys are seeing what's happening there. You know, this could easily work, but I'm really trying to be consistent with the branding of this company. Nature Fest uses green. I've already created a solid green background. You can do that by going to File, New, Color Matte, and just follow through here. Pick the color. If you have access to the hex codes for your brand's colors, you can use that. You create a solid background. That's going to appear down here in your project. You can name it whatever color it is, including the hex value if that needs to be used for other elements. I have mine already created. So that empty space that I left here, I'm going to drag and drop this green right into that empty space, and I'm going to stretch it all along this video. There you go. Now, the background video has sort of disappeared, but that's not a problem because I'm going to select the green and I'm going to change the blend mode on that. So let's do that. Let's select the green. We're going to go to opacity. Right below opacity, you have a blend mode. You're going to drop that. I'm going to go with multiply. There you go. And you can play around with that to see what blend works best with your colors. Okay. So basically, I've created a background there that works nicely
Find another one.
with
More evidence.
the main video. The focal point, of course, is going to be what you're looking at in the middle. The background fills in nicely. It's not too distracting. And I'm going to use that actually for branding considerations. So basically, I'm going to click right here in my project. I know that I have a logo for this company for Nature Fest, and I called it the One. I happen to know that whatever your title for it is, you can go into project and search through your assets by writing in the name of the title, or just do it old school and just, take a look at what you have in your project window. All right. I have mine already set up. I'm going to drag it onto a new track, stretch it along the entirety of the video. You can see it there. Obviously, I don't want it there. So I'm going to select it here, click it, and make sure that I click it. and I'm going to come up to motion. You should start seeing a pattern here. Motion is crucial here to be able to navigate through your assets and through your tracks. Motion will let me play around with this. I could do that manually, but at least I know that I have the way I use it. Motion basically just lets me know that I've selected the right track, because if I pick the wrong one, I hit motion, it's going to highlight, the track that, that is active. At this point, I only want the logo to be active. So I hit motion and I make sure that I'm on the right track. Is this it? Yes. Control Z. Control Z will revert that last or undo that last move. So I know that this is the logo. I'm going to go here where it says position, and I'm going to play with this. I'm going to bring that up. And there you go. I'll place that around there. All right, so I've got my logo set up now.
Feces. American road feces. You're going to confuse it for mice.
All right, let me save that. Control S. Okay, so now the topic that we're discussing, I want to add that as a title. How are we going to do this? Well, basically, we're going to go to File. I still work pretty old school. So I'm going to go to File, New, and we're going to go with the legacy title. And we'll name this Nature Pest Topic, because that's what I'm going to be adding in there, a topic. So that's already set up on the track, as you can see. And I'm going to go with the area type tool, because that lets me resize the actual area, the box, not the fonts. The fonts I can work on separately, but I need the box to be a certain size. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to click and drag. Here we go. The topic is already on the clipboard. I already cut and paste that from the description. So I'm going to hit Control V. Okay. And there we go. The topic is in there. Those fonts look pretty nasty. That's left over from something else. So no worries there. We're going to go with this font. It could be any font that you choose, of course. But for this one in particular, I'm going with the font that is right there. Okay, so there we go. I can make the box a little bit bigger. And here on the properties, the legacy title properties, I can actually pick, the font size. And we're going mobile. So that's what I need to make sure that these fonts are visible. And I would say optimized for the mobile viewer. Check it out. I'm going to select off screen. That's pretty much what we need. And of course, I can always stretch it a little bit more, or just leave it the way it is. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. That's it. Close that. Okay. So it's not here on the track yet. We're going to go and look for it. I'm going to write Nature Pest. And now you can see that there is a topic. It's two, actually. It's probably one is left over. Yeah, that's the right one, I think. Yes. So I'm going to drag and drop that to an empty track. And I'm going to wait for my cursor to change to that arrow pointing right. That's going to let me drag that all along the video to the end. Okay, here we go.
Okay, here is the evidence.
There you go.
That we're looking for. And
okay. And that looks all right. So now we're just going to make sure that everything lines up correctly. All right. So this last part, basically, I just want the full screen of his face. All right. So we're going to use our plus and minus button, left hand, to zoom in on the actual cut, the actual transition to that outro there, which is right around there. All right. So you guys just have to look for the sweet spot. That would say that's around there. I'm going to hit control. I'm sorry. I'm going to hit the letter C on my keyboard. That's going to turn it into a razor blade because I'm going to cut right there. I'm going to cut everything there. Then I'm going to hit control. I'm going to hit V. I'm sorry, just V as in Victor to get back to the cursor. Now I'm going to use plus and minus again. Zoom in again. Why am I cutting it there? Well, because I don't need the topic anymore. I'm getting rid of that. I don't need the transparency anymore, the logo. I'm going to get rid of that. The green, I'm going to get rid of. I don't need that. And that first track, I don't need it anymore either. All I need is his outro, his face. So that section, I'm going to select. And I'm going to go back here. Here, you're going to have trouble if you don't know where your effect controls are. So I'm going to go to this arrow, these two arrows here, select that, and pick effect controls. There we go. Got our effect controls back. Now I'm just going to select that video, and we have our motion and scale and position menu up. I'm going to hit motion, and now I'm going to scale that up. Check it out. Now I fill the whole screen. Since motion is selected, that gives me a chance to manually do this. I can bring up the, I could scale it up to the size that I need and play around with it a bit. I always use the spacebar to play, so I never really use the play button. Spacebar to play and pause. Check it out. There's a transition. You guys can do a nice transition, a slow one, if you select, bring the cursor here, select the video, the clip, and hit Control D. That'll give you a nice transition if that's what you want. Let me do that again. In this case, it didn't do it because it's too connected. So let's try it again there. There you go. Right? So you can place a nice transition right before it hits the outro. Check it out.
Hey, this is right.
Okay, that looks nice. We'll just keep it in there. And the transitions are always variable. You can always change them. You see the transition right there. If you take your cursor to the right, you get your cursor changes to this handle, and that you can bring forward or backwards. That means that you can make the transition longer or shorter. All right, I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I'm going to hit my minus, or remember plus and minus, zoom out and zoom in. Okay, so here we go. Outro's back.
Hey, this is Frank Kopetsky. If this video has been helpful to you, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. This is Frank Kopetsky.
All right, now I could see that he's a little off screen, so I can change that. I could either make it a little bit smaller and manually bring it back to the center. Okay.
Give it a thumbs up.
There you go. That's good enough. So now we've got that logo coming up again, but it's completely off screen or partially off screen. So we need to fix that. I'm going to scrub through right here, find that sweet spot, which is where the transition happens. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to hit C on my keyboard. and I'm gonna click it right there. That's gonna cut that clip right in that spot at that frame. That means that now from here on, I can make any adjustments to this separately and it won't affect the previous uh, clip. So now this clip works independently. I'm going to go over here, back to motion, and I'm going to hit the reset parameter on both position and scale. Now look what happened. Now it's nice and centered, but the background is black. I don't want that on the screen, but the logo is a good enough size to play with. So I'm going to go over here to scale, and I'm going to bring that up a bit until it fills the screen. All right. I'm going to click back here on the clip. I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to scrub back a little bit. I can still zoom. Let's test out that ending.
Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. This is Frank Lipinski wishing you a spectacular day.
Beautiful. That's where I want it to end. Now I need to render this, of course. I need to put all these ingredients into one pot and cook them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrub to that last frame of this video, and I'm going to hit O. That is going to tell Premiere that it's going to render only up to that screen. I always hit O, and there's always an extra screen, and I'm just being compulsive. So I'm just going to drag that right back to here. That's your out point. Let's plus and minus so we can see the whole thing. I'm going to drag it to the top, and I can hit I just to make sure that it starts at the 0. And now plus and minus to get a look at the whole clip.
I'm here in Miami doing a horticulture consultation on a new client. And I'm going to show you everything that we found with this landscape and what needs to be fixed. Check this out.
Now, I'm borrowing an intro from another video. I'm sort of using this as a standard. And yes, that was a horticultural inspection or consultation. I don't need that in this video, okay? This is another kind of job, so I need to cut down that intro. Check it out.
And I'm going to show you everything that we found with it. I'm here in Miami doing a horticulture consultation on a new client. And I'm going to show you everything that we found with this landscape and what needs to be fixed. Check this out.
All right. So basically, I need to cut this out.
And I'm going to show you here in Miami doing a horticulture. Hey, this is Frank Lipinski.
That's really all I need from that bit. I'm going to hit I. That's the in point. Watch what happens here.
I'm here in Miami doing a horticulture consultation on a new client. And I'm going to show you everything that we found with this landscape and what needs to be fixed. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
That's the sweet spot right there. I'm going to hit O, the out point. In and out. I'm going to get rid of that section, and as soon as I get rid of that, I need the remaining part of this video to ripple delete. I need everything to just close in. All right. So the way we do that is to mark the section that you don't want. That would be, in this case, the in point and out point of this part. And I'm going to select extract right here. There you go. So,
geek, check this out.
All right.
Frank the Pest Geek, check this out.
Okay, that's all I need.
Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek, check this out.
Okay. And if that's a little too harsh, then we can go to the effects, look up video transitions, go to dissolve, select cross dissolve, and I can drop that in the middle of those two. I can do the same thing as far as the audio is concerned and go to audio transition, select constant power, drag and drop that in the middle of those two. All right. Now, it looks like there's going to be a lot of crossover there. So I need to make sure that this blends in faster. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Best geek. Check here now.
All right. There was a little bit of bleeding there. So I'm going to pick the end of it, make the transition much shorter. Same thing with this, visually and sonically.
Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek. Check this out.
There you go. That's a nicer transition.
Okay, here is the
There you
evidence
go.
that we're looking for.
All right. That looks good all throughout the video. The ending.
Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek. If this video has been helpful to you, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. This is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a spectacular day.
There you go. Now, video just ran out. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take it to that second to last frame, and I'm going to hit O. That first frame should default to 0, but you never know. I like to just scrub right back to the beginning and hit I. That means in. So now I've told Premiere that I want to render this video only from this point to the last point where the out is set up. Okay, so that's basically it. Let's go then to export. We're going to hit File. We're going to hit Export, Media. All right. Usually, I try to keep everything the same. The format is H264. I match the source. That's the preset that I use. All right. The output name you're going to click on so that you can rename this and make sure that it renders into the right directory. In this case, I'm going to my episodes directory. And I already have the full-length version rendered. So basically, I'm going to use the same title for that, which is right here. I'm going to select that, and it's going to fill in the name for me. This is Nature Fest. Now, the only difference here is that I'm creating this for IGTV and basically for mobile or mobile in general. I'm going to hit save. All right, that saves your settings there. And then you're going to hit export and sit back and have some coffee or some apple juice or whatever floats your boat. And that's basically it, guys. Hope this helps. Until next time, guys, take it easy. This is Eric Dorado signing off.